win that teacher to pension. That is one possibility, Speaker, that I want to ask the committee to be able to look at. Number two, Speaker, is also to make a law making it mandatory that, for example, if a teacher retires, within 6 months, Honorable Speaker, that TSC and National Treasury should have paid these people their dues. And if they don't, then we recommend, Speaker, some punishment, Honorable Speaker, so that they can fast track. Many teachers, Honorable Speaker, as you know from your place and my place, have died before receiving this pension, Honorable Speaker. So maybe we need to think about something like that, something radical, Speaker. Finally, Speaker, this issue of also lumping petitions in one committee, Honorable Speaker, we might need to review. Like, for example, Speaker, if this petition was going to Committee on Education, they would have even engaged the TSC, National Treasury, early enough without waiting. For example, when they engage in other issues, Honorable Speaker, without waiting too much until when they appear before the Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, we need to think about a radical move or approach that I propose. Maybe we make a law and make it punishable if they don't pay teachers within 6 months. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I think we'll end there. We refer the two petitions to the Committee on Public Petitions. Chairman, I can see you here. And you report back to the petitioners and to the House in 60 days. Next order. Yes,
Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
if you'll allow me.
Mheshimiwa Chonga.
Yeah, I want to rise on standing order number 1. Mr. Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of the House that as I stand here, I'm a very threatened man.
Why?
I have never been given back my security guard. That is one. Last week on Thursday, when I went to renew the license for my gun, it was confiscated without any reason. When I inquired why they were confiscating my gun, they told me that I was late in renewing my license. Mr. Speaker, there are so many members, gun holders there, who are late in renewing. They paid the fine. I had equally paid the fine. It's not that I refused to pay the fine. I paid a fine of 63,000, but notwithstanding that, at the end of it, Mr. Speaker, the chief licensing officer told me that he is under instruction to withhold my gun. I feel threatened. I feel my life is in danger. As a public servant, Mr. Speaker, I have never misused that item since when I got it in 2014, when I was not a member of Parliament. There is nowhere I've ever even created a scene implying that I'm a gun holder. But look at the station the way it is right now, Mr. Speaker. I don't know even how I go home. I cannot traverse my constituency. Wherever I go, I feel that I'm insecure. I pray for the indulgence of this House. In fact, I bought that gun as a personal protective property. I don't know under which section of the law the chief licensing officer withdrew both the license and the gun, which I legally owned. Mr. Speaker, I need the intervention of the officers.
Thank you, Honorable Chonga. I would advise you to write to Mr. Speaker outlining those challenges. Then I'll be able to assist you. For those who may have similar issues, as a word of caution, if you bear a firearm and is quietly taken away, it's in your interest to keep it silent so that your enemies don't get to know that now you are unarmed and do mischief against you. But I don't want to escalate debate. Honorable Chonga, I hear you. Please drop me a note and I'll take up your matter and assist you. And any other member who has a similar challenge, that will be a better channel to follow than to tell the public that you are armed and now you are unarmed. It may not help too much. Yes, Honorable Andai.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't intend to escalate the debate on this matter because it is straightforward. I just want to report again that on that fateful Thursday, Honorable Chonga actually called me while at the firearms licensing board offices in that whole area. And he was actually crying, literally. And the Speaker, it's a very serious issue. It may look small, but until it gets to you as a person. The Speaker, ordinarily I don't talk about security of members or personal security, but I think it behoves public officers that whenever they take any action, be it administrative or otherwise, that they cite the particular law under which they are acting. The Speaker, under the Firearms Act, the chief licensing officer, chief firearms licensing officer, cannot just wake up one morning and withdraw somebody's license. Leave alone a gun, because the gun belongs to the person who holds it anyway. Okay? The chief licensing officer has got a duty under the law, under the Firearms Act, and indeed under the Constitution, to give reasons why he is cancelling a license for a gun holder. Even as you make your consider ruling, Mr. Speaker, which I really pray that you do as soon as possible, this should go out to public officers, that they cannot be a law unto themselves. We are all governed by the law. We all operate under the rule of law. If you feel that somebody has violated the terms under which the license was issued, please cite those violations. In any case, you need to go to court to get a court order for you to withdraw somebody's license, and indeed a gun which is his personal property under Article 40 of the Constitution. You cannot just take somebody's property, and a gun is such property, without justification. Mr. Speaker, I really pray that you give a considered ruling, and also give a caution, issue caution to these public officers who seem to be drunk with power. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Russell.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have heard what Honorable Chonga there raised. I think we must differentiate an entitlement and a privilege. I think carrying an arm, when you are not uniformed, not gazetted, is a privilege. But that privilege should also not be abused by any of us, because I believe most of us are licensed firearm holders. Secondly, and more importantly, I think the important thing is about the bodyguard of members of this House, particularly those of us who come from rural constituencies. I think more than the petition he has raised with you, as members of the Committee of Security, we have also taken note. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Yes, Nimrod.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to add on the same matter, where our colleagues are lamenting the issue that they have been, their firearms have been confiscated. Mr. Speaker, for those of us, or for those members who own firearms, or private citizens who own firearms, there are regulations you sign against before you are issued with the firearm. And anytime you get to violate the regulations, the board is at liberty to confiscate the firearm. One of the things I would want to point into, Mr. Speaker, is the recent demonstrations by the members of the opposition. Because, Mr. Speaker, there is no way you can be having a firearm and the police, you at the same time, you are fighting with the police. So the first thing they will do to maintain peace and to avoid misuse of firearm is to have the firearm confiscated. Then, Mr. Speaker, after you settle down, it can be returned back to you. So I want to ask the Firearm Licensing Board, if they find that our
considered ruling will be delivered, I'll be dealing with it in the manner that I said. And like I did say, I encourage any member who has similar challenges, the Office of Speaker, who also is the chair of your Parliamentary Service Commission, is open to each one of you to come and present your issue and I'll deal with it. You must be cognizant of the fact that there are criminals out there who also confiscate guns from gun owners, licensed gun owners, in robberies and use them for criminal activities. So I wouldn't encourage any one of you. I have never carried a firearm in my life. I would want to encourage those of you who bear firearms to know that you are licensed individually. It is your secret and the licensing officer, and keep it that way, so that it can be safe for you, safe for the public. But I've assured Honorable Chonga that I'll take up his matter and I'll assist him. He has said he's even afraid of going across his own constituency without a firearm. I want you to go back to your constituency and serve your people in the manner that you know best. Next order. Oh, before the next order, honorable members, I want to acknowledge the following schools. In the public gallery, we have Gorgor High School from Sotik, Bomet, Abundant Hope Academy from Soy, Uasin Gishu, Laboso Vision Academy from Kipkelion West, Kericho, Itiero Girls School from Bonchari, Kisii, Kariati Primary from Igembe North, Meru, Kiu River Primary from Kiambu Town, Kiambu, Salaba Academy from Keio North, Elgeyo Marakwet, and the Speakers Gallery we have Golden Elite Schools, Kisumu Central, Kisumu, Kenya University Debate Championship Team from Roysambu, Nairobi. On your behalf and on my own behalf, I welcome the schools, the students, their teachers to the House of Parliament. Yes, Ngalichai? You want to join me in welcoming?
Yes, sir.
Speak for all of us then. Welcome all of them.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Let me welcome all the learners to this house. A special mention to Salaba Academy from Keio North, Elgeyo Marakwet County. That is a school of excellency in Elgeyo Marakwet County, and it has a record to have been performing well for the past 20 years. Mr. Speaker, many a times in these house learners come and they carry home a memory that inspires them even in future to be members of Parliament. I therefore welcome them all to this honorable house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture. The mic is on for you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House. Today, Wednesday, the 16th August, report on the Departmental Committee on Sports and Culture on the benchmarking visit and attendance of the 21st International Conference of African and African American Culture, held from 12th to 16th April 2023 in Santiago de Cuba, Cuba. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Leader of Majority. Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sorry, Honorable Speaker, I was consulting with a member for Bomet East and asking him whether he's the Mulmulwas that was at one time referred to. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice to the following motion that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 28.4, this House resolves to alter its calendar for the second session, regular session, as adopted on Wednesday, 15 February 2023, by varying the period for the long recess with respect to the second part of the session, so that the long recess commences on Friday, 25th August 2023, and ends on Monday, 25th September 2023. And B, the House resumes regular sittings on Tuesday, 26th September 2023, to commence the third part of the session. Honorable Speaker, as members are aware, the calendar that we had already approved at the beginning of the year, we were to proceed on recess next week on 25th of August and to resume on the 19th of August. That would have given us a very short recess, and usually we will schedule recesses for about 4 or 5 weeks, and therefore we just want to increase that by a week so that you have more time. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, we have just begun the new financial year at the time we were resuming this session, and with that, members, after the short 2 weeks recess, were able to use that time to deploy the resources that were sent to their constituencies for CDF and our women reps for NGAF, and ensure there is a public participation in the implementation of those projects, and also offer meaningful oversight on the projects that are to be implemented from the last financial year. Honorable Speaker, members are also aware that disbursements have begun for government exchequer, and we do hope that in due course we will be getting disbursements for the new financial year, both from GAF and NGCDF, sorry, Honorable Speaker. And therefore, as is the norm, members are required to begin submitting their CDF proposals for the next financial year. And I think the National Board, if they haven't, they're about to send you, they have. For this financial year, thank you, Mheshimiwa. If the NGCDF board has not, they are supposed to be issuing in due course. And I was hoping the chair of NGCDF was here. I'm asking you now to submit your proposals for this financial year, and you ought to have done public participation on those proposals. So we want to ensure that members have adequate time during that recess to ensure that you are able to go around all your wards, be able to engage with wananchi in your constituencies, to be able to review the proposals that wananchi and communities have submitted to your CDF offices, in line with your mandate as members of Parliament, to ensure that there is actual and proper public participation of NGCDF projects, so that you are able to also offer meaningful oversight. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, it was in the view of the House Business Committee, the House Business Committee opted to change the calendar by that extra 1 week. That 1 week will also allow members a little bit more time to spend time with their families besides their constituencies, both families as in your families and your families in the constituencies, as the father and mother figures in your own constituencies. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I just want to beg that we do support this. And I want to ask the Leader of Minority, the Honorable Pio Wandai, who is also a member of the House Business Committee that approved this particular alteration, to second. Thank you.
The Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable members, you are jumping the gun. You gave notice of motion. I will allocate you time tomorrow afternoon so that the actual motion can be on the order paper. For, I think since the two of you are put in bipartisan talks, you have become too cozy with each other.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I spoke about it and forgot I was not to move the motion. I was only giving
notice of motion.
So I had actually jumped the gun to tomorrow afternoon.
I will allocate you time tomorrow.
So I will also ensure that the Leader of Minority seconds tomorrow.
Excellent. Honorable members, we will jump order 7 and go to order number 8, call out 8, 9, and 10. Remember, today is question time. The minister is already in the chamber.
Order number 8, the Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2022, second reading, question to be put.
Honorable members, I put the question at order number 8, that the Pensions Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2022 be now read the second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Pensions Act and for connected purposes. Order number 9, the Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2023, second reading, question to be put.
Honorable members, I now put the question at order number 9, that the Food and Feed Safety Control Coordination Bill, National Assembly Bill number 21 of 2023, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the coordination of the public institutions in the control of food and feed safety, to establish the office of the Food Safety Controller, to provide for the role of county governments in food and feed safety, and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, the Marriage Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 32 of 2023, first reading.
Jen Kagiri.
Honorable Speaker, I stand on a point of order on the constitutionality of the Marriage Amendment Bill 2023. And Honorable Speaker, I stand on the rostrum of Standing Order 83, read together with 47. And previously, Honorable Speaker, you have ruled that it is in order for us to challenge a bill at any point or at any stage of that bill. Honorable Speaker, I'm seeking your guidance on 3 issues in regards to this bill. The first one, Honorable Speaker, we go to Article 45 of the Constitution, where it provides that the family is the social fabric and the social unit of our country. Honorable Speaker, when we have a marriage amendment bill that is going to allow for dissolution of marriage after 1 year, or dissolution of marriage based on mutual consent, Honorable Speaker, I think that's an affront to our Constitution and something that we should not allow. Honorable Speaker, the second issue is Section 66 of the Marriage Act, which again provides that for a civil marriage, for them to seek for separation or divorce, it can only be done after 3 years lapse. Again, Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Member has not amended this act for him to present this to the House. Thirdly, Honorable Speaker, we have the Kenyan Citizenship and Immigration Act 2011. Honorable Speaker, if we allow for such an amendment, we are allowing for fictitious marriages in this country, where foreigners walk in, cheat our young and beautiful ladies, allow for marriage, and eventually exit after they've achieved the citizenship that they're seeking for. Honorable Speaker, I'm seeking for your guidance on whether this is contrary to the Constitution, contrary to the Marriage Act, and again, contrary to the Citizenship Act of Kenya. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Kagiri. Let's do the ritual of first reading first. But I hear you.
A bill for an act of Parliament to amend the Marriage Act 2014 to provide for the dissolution of marriage by mutual consent and for connected purposes.
Minority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, we seem to be in a very unique situation here. Because for the first time since my coming to this House, I have seen an issue being raised over a bill at the first reading stage. It is indeed unprecedented. But of course, difficult times call for sometimes extraordinary measures. Mr. Speaker, if I got Honorable Kagiri well, she seems to imply that the bill offends the Constitution. okay, which would be a very serious matter. I have had chance to look at the report of JLAC that furthered this bill for further processing. And I've also had a chance to discuss with Honorable Masara, because he came to my office upon the publication of this bill to only seek my support, but also to urge me to rally members to support it. But I've since read the report of the JLAC committee, and I've only noted that there's only one opposing view, that of the Honorable Tienda Mole, if I'm not wrong. Okay? Mr. Speaker, under the circumstances, it may call that instead of us throwing away the bill outrightly in the manner suggested by Honorable Kagiri, and without having given Honorable Masara a chance to speak on this, it may call for you to give a considered ruling on this matter, especially bearing in mind the issues being raised by Honorable Kagiri, the past practice in this House, the practice of this House, and indeed the fact that it takes quite a long time for a bill to mature. Sometimes even 2 years, 3 years. So you need to take into consideration all these factors as you make your ruling. If you asked me, and I may be wrong, I would have wanted this bill to be subjected to public participation so that the public can also air their views on it. Bearing in mind, of course, that if this House passes a bill which is put out of the Constitution, courts can still annul it. Okay? But I think, Mr. Speaker, the onus is on you, and I'm sure you'll give us a ruling. Thank you.
Senior Counsel Otiende.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Short comments.
Mr. Speaker, I'm afraid I agree with the interjection.
Oh.
I was a member of JLAC and I still am. I duly considered the bill, and the Honorable Masara is my very good friend. We've even discussed this matter. But I'm afraid that for reasons stated on the face of the report, I would agree that the bill would be unconstitutional. But the Honorable Speaker, I would suggest that this is an area where you might exercise your discretion. Because if you give a considered ruling, then that's the end of the matter. It is possible that the Honorable Masara might reconsider the bill in certain respects. And I'd have suggested that rather than kill it in its current form, you refer it back to the committee to re-engage with the Honorable Masara, and I'm personally happy to point out, and I've done it to him, to what extent it is, so that if it can be salvaged, it could be salvaged. But if it cannot, then it dies its natural death.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Majority Leader, I will limit debate on this. He will be the last.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and let me thank the Honorable Jen Kagiri for raising that constitutional matter. And from the face of it, Honorable Speaker, it's clear that this bill will go contrary to the provisions of Article 45 of the Constitution. And Honorable Speaker, the other issue I would have, and probably this may not be the forum, we should do this in the liaison committee, is how this bill even found its way to plenary. Because in my considered view, Honorable Speaker, this is a bill that should never have gone through the committee, past the committee. But Honorable Speaker, I would also want to join Senior Counsel Tiende, and I was hoping the Honorable Masara would have been here to prevail on the Honorable Masara either to withdraw this bill or to seek your indulgence to amend it to be able to even align it to the provisions of the Constitution, and also probably even seek to amend Section 66 of the Marriage Act. And Honorable Speaker, as Honorable Kagiri has said, it is probable and possible that tomorrow very vulnerable young ladies in our country will be taken advantage of by foreigners. And Honorable Speaker, it is not a new phenomenon around the world. We have seen people, especially of African descent, in the US and other Western countries, going to marry women that are much older than them so that they can gain citizenship in those countries. We have also seen it here, Honorable Speaker, and we have seen it around the city especially from West Africans, taking advantage of very young college girls. And this will become now a norm if such a bill was to pass, because all you need is to marry a Kenyan girl at 18 years of age. You don't even need to live with a girl after 1 year. Actually, you don't even need to live with them. Just officiate a function, a wedding, and after 1 year claim the separation, and by consent dissolve that marriage. Honorable Speaker, that by consent alone is completely ultra-vires to the provisions of Article 45 of the Constitution. And I would beg, Honorable Speaker, if the Honorable Masara does not exercise his known wisdom to withdraw this bill, I would beg that you do the necessary and do justice to the House. Otherwise, we have daughters, Honorable Speaker, and I believe you also have daughters, young ones for that matter. And as a father with young girls, Honorable Speaker, I would never want it to pass that such a bill was passed in this Parliament at a time I served in this House, Honorable Speaker. Protect our daughters, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. And sons.
Order, honorable members. Honorable Murugara, you are the chair of the committee.
Can I say something?
No, you will not.
But
order, honorable. You are functus official on this matter, and the matter will then meet its fate along the way. Honorable members, order Guna, order CNN, order honorable members, take your seats. Honorable members, the matter raised by the women rep for Laikipia is indeed a very serious constitutional issue. I have, as your speaker, read through Honorable Masara's bill, and this bill has also found some time and been discussed in the House Business Committee. And indeed, the Senior Counsel, Otienda Molo, descended in the committee on very cogent constitutional and legal grounds. And this House, as a House of Representatives of the people of Kenya, has a fundamental duty to protect society, particularly the institution of marriage. The moment you turn a marriage into an instant coffee affair, then we'll have no society. So I will recess for 2 weeks and bring you a reasoned ruling. And Honorable Wandai, to the extent that Honorable Masara has not taken the opportunity to find his way to discuss the matter with the Speaker, then the bill must meet its Waterloo on the floor. Thank you. Honorable members, I have a communication to make, a short one, on the demise of the Honorable James Charles Nahwanga Osogo, former Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister. Honorable members, it is with profound sorrow that I report to the House the passing on of one of Kenya's founding national leaders, who was also a long-serving member of the National Assembly, the Honorable James Charles Nahwanga Osogo. The late Honorable Osogo passed away on 15 August 2023 at the age of 91 years at the Aga Khan Hospital, Kisumu, where he has been receiving treatment after a series of illness. Honorable members, the late Honorable Osogo was a second born in a family of 10 and was born on 10th October 1932 in Bukani village in then Bunyala district. He attended Port Victoria Primary School from 1941 to 1943 before proceeding to St. Mary's Secondary School, Yala, from 1944 to 1949. He later attended Railways Training School, Nairobi, from 1950 to 51, and thereafter proceeded to Kagumo Teachers College, where he trained as a teacher. His insatiable thirst for education pushed him to pursue a Bachelor of Commerce degree at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. The late Honorable Osogo's political consciousness was aroused when he was a student at St. Mary's School, Yala, and later at the East African Railways and Harbours Institute. He developed passion in trade union activities that were spearheaded by one of Kenya's fiery trade union activists against brutal and repressive imperialist treatment of Africans. Honorable members, the Honorable Osogo joined Kagumo Teachers College, where he honed his leadership skills and developed a deeper appreciation of national leadership, including awareness of the activities of the Mau Mau movement in the struggle for Kenya's independence. After graduating from Kagumo, the late Osogo continued the political agitation. At a youthful age of 24 years, while serving as a teacher at Sigalame Intermediate School, he was a councillor in the Nyanza African District Council. Honorable members, his national political career started in 1963 when he was elected member of House of Representatives for Ruambwa constituency, now part of Budalangi and Funyula constituencies. The late Osogo was among the members who were appointed to Kenya's first cabinet in 1964 at independence. He first served as Assistant Minister for Agriculture until 1966, when he was elevated to become the Minister for Information and Broadcasting from 66 to 69. He later held various ministerial portfolios, including as Minister for Commerce and Industry from 69 to 73, Minister for Agriculture 1970, Minister for Local Government 73 to 74, Minister for Health 1974. The late Osogo was also the Deputy Leader of Government Business in 1978. He was the last surviving member of the cabinet of the founding President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Honorable members, the late Honorable Osogo will be remembered. That fact is not true. There is Nathan Munoko, who is still living and who was also in that cabinet. Honorable members, Honorable Osogo will be remembered for his leadership standards and promoting ethics. He was a respected and visionary public servant, uncompromising and an astute thinker whose service to the community was unmatched. His ascent to national politics and stellar political career will forever serve as an inspiration to many current and future leaders. On your behalf and that of the entire parliamentary fraternity, and indeed on behalf of the people of Kenya, I convey our heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Honorable James Osogo, the people of Busia,